Hey guys, there's a pile of axles that I took apart. Those are the CJ2A axles. And both of them, you know, were bad. We took that front apart yesterday and that was bad. That's where we left off. I did get some new axles in here. And got a couple guys helping me and we're tearing them down today. So I'll take you over and show you what's happening. Okay guys, you remember my buddy Gary there? There he is, the cameraman. I'm working the camera right now. There's Matt. That's the owner of CJ2A number 8, who is not working on it and just letting it sit there, trying to get him motivated.
We'll get there soon.
He is working on the axles he brought over today. We've got a very clean Model 41 rear that I already took apart, and he is cleaning some of the grime. That's his punishment for bringing me real grimy axles. He is cleaning off the bolts and stuff so we could get those knuckle seals off. And both axles have never been torn into. Original gear lube flowed out of both of them. I'll take you over here and show you the gears. The gears are remarkable. That's original lube still on those. And that's the rear. Pinion looks real good. And we're working right now on getting the front apart, and we'll take a look at those gears, but I think they're going to be perfect. And everything is so nice in these axles. They're a little grimy on the outside, but everything is so nice. I am going to use the cases and all the parts from them. You remember, this is what we took out yesterday. I think you can see how bad they are. No teeth left on there. So that was yesterday's disaster, but today we're on to good stuff and things are looking good, so we'll continue on and get this taken apart.
I'll get one more right here. Yep.
Okay, there's Gary right there, and he just brought over today this little Milwaukee 3/8 impact driver, and we're taking off the these bolts here on the carrier bearings. And go for it, Gary. That just zips them off like nothing. Quite a little tool.
Pretty slick.
And I'm not associated with Milwaukee or anything. I just think it does a hell of a job for as small a tool as it is. It zipped off the pinion nut on the last axle. So I'll pull this gear set out and we'll take a look at it on the bench. Here's a shot of the inside of the case with all the original lube in there. It's heavy, it's thick, nobody's ever drained it out. I believe Matt said these were out of a 47 CJ2A, and everything is very nice looking because nobody's ever been in here and put their magical touch on it and tried to do anything. So this is an original axle. Some of the bearing cups are a little messed up, but nothing's damaged or anything. So this was a good find, and that's what original lube looks like from 1947. Okay, there's our pinion nut. I just took the cotter pin out, and it hasn't been pre-loosened or anything. And Matt's going to hold on to that with a wrench, and Gary's going to go at it with that tiny little 3/8 impact driver. And it's surprising the hell out of me today. So we're gonna check and see if it's going to take this pinion nut off. It took the back one off, but let me step back. Let Gary hop in there with that little 3/8 guy. Let's see what it does.
Ready?
Yep.
You got it?
Like this.
Look at that. That is quite a tool. And Gary just picked this up this morning. He went over to the store, grabbed that because he's been wanting that little guy. And we're just trying to get it to stall on something. We've taken a bunch of lug nuts off this morning. We've taken pinion nuts off. We've taken all kinds of stuff off. and it's still going strong. Again, I got nothing to do with Milwaukee, but it sure is an impressive tool. Okay, we're going to get that pinion out of there, and we're going to check everything over at the bench. Okay, here's a shot of the front axle ring gear. It doesn't get too much better than that. That's perfect. The pinion is perfect. I've got the cups out, got the shims out. I've got to do a little cleanup on everything. As you can see, it's got all that original lube still all over it. So we'll get everything soaking in the parts washer. I was able to get 2 good spindles off that front axle, and the axles themselves in the rear look better than the originals we had, so we're completely rebuilding this new set of axles, and it's going to go much faster and smoother than that junk we pulled out of the other axles. So things are moving along. This is about where we left off yesterday when we had a disaster. We're back on schedule now. Everything is apart, and we'll continue on from here, and I'll show you how things go together. Okay, everything is finally apart and prepped for sandblasting. Got the knuckles taped off, got the rear plugged up there with the cover on. I've got the front plugged up. I've got that Dana 44 for another project ready to go. And if we come over here to the bench, I've got one more 25 taped off and ready for blasting. And the bench is full of the carriers and pinions and stuff. And I'll show you what came in for the rear end and the front end, and we'll keep moving on with it. Okay, there are quite a few Timken bearings in here. They run pretty deep down in there, and that's what it takes to rebuild 2 rear ends, 2 front ends. I've got a couple speedy sleeves here because we got bad yokes, and that'll fix those up. The set of worn hubs came in for the front of that CJ2A that I'm doing. And one final thing that made it yesterday was the lock right, and that's going in that model 41 rear. And that is here and ready to go, and I will show that when it happens. I've got to clean up the housings. I get everything blasted, hopefully. It's kind of very wet out today still. We've got 3 inches of rain coming for tomorrow. Oh, I think maybe Saturday, if it's dry enough, I can get some sandblasting done, I hope. But the first nice day, I'll get everything sandblasted, and we'll start putting this stuff back in here. And where we left off yesterday was we have very good ring and pinions. I now have 2 perfect spindles, and things are going smooth. I have a box of goodies here that needs to be cleaned up, sandblasted. I've got hubs, front and rear. I knocked the studs out of the CJ2A hubs because I'm putting all right hand in there, and they were kind of messed up anyway. And you could see I've got that Dana 44 rear hub there, still got the studs in it. But all that stuff's going to get cleaned up as well, and it's just nicer to start with nice fresh sandblasted metal. And hopefully, again, depending on the weather, I'm not sure when it's going to be perfect, but as soon as that's done, I will show you what's happening, and we'll start putting this stuff together. And I know a few guys have wanted to see the lock right installation, and I will show that. Don't worry about that. I'm going to show that in detail, how that goes in, and I'm going to show you how to properly put the front hubs on now that they're here. But I've got to get a little further along on the cases. They really need some cleaning up and some washing out. And then I'll move on to the steering box. That's apart. Had to get a new pitman arm, and that came in today. And everything's been through the parts washer. It's nice and clean. Just waiting on, like I said, I found a new old stock sector shaft. I'm waiting on that to come in, hopefully this afternoon, and we can get the steering box wrapped up. So things are happening, and I will bring it to you as quick as I can, and hopefully that'll be very soon. So hang in there. The rebuilds are going to continue, and thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next video.